Hello, my loves. Today we're going to continue talking about how to find your grades. And this time we're going to talk about maybe like averaging grades, finding a final grade. So our lesson today is averaging your grades and finding the percent. Our standard is I can solve decimal problems to hundredths using strategies, concrete models, and drawings, and I can explain my reasoning in written form. So like we've been doing before, we're solving those decimal problems to the hundredths, and we're rounding those numbers because when we're talking about hundredths, that's when we're talking about the percentages. All right, here's our goal. We can find the average of numbers and then convert them into percent. So the average of multiple activities or tests or assignments, we're going to find that average and then find out what your, average grade is. Here's our essential question. How can you change a fraction into a percent? And you know how to do this already because we've done this a few times. A fraction is technically a division problem. And in order to get that percent, we need to divide until we get to the hundredths place. Our lead measures, we're going to find the average of grades, and then we're going to turn those averages into a percent. And then we'll practice on IXL with finding the mean. Pardon me. Don't forget to get those 2 iReady teacher assigned lessons and your 50 minutes. And don't forget 50 minutes for Ms. Hodges and her lessons as well. For those of you who have your personal path turned off to give you a chance to catch up with my iReady lessons, let me know as soon as you complete all the teacher assigned lessons. Let me know so I can turn your path back on for you. Because remember, we still want you on that path. We want you doing more than 50 minutes. If you're one grade level below, so for instance, you should be at the end of 5th grade right now. But if your My Path lessons are in 4th grade, then you should be doing 60 minutes. If your My Path lessons are in 3rd grade or lower, you should be doing 75 minutes every week because we want you to catch up. All right? So, excuse me. Make sure you're getting those minutes in. Those minutes are not about me checking off on a list that you did your assignment and then you get your A. That's not what that's about. What the minutes are is to help you learn. They're minutes of learning. And it's to get you caught up so you'll be ready for 6th grade. You don't want to start 6th grade with being way behind. The more that you do now when you have a good chance to do it, then that means the better off you're going to be. Okay? All right, let's talk about finding the mean. Well, mean means average. Mean means average. And we talked a little bit about average in the classroom this year. And what the average is you're taking a couple of numbers, you add them together, you divide by the number of numbers, and you're going to find that average. But we're specifically talking about your grades here. So let's put that into perspective. Let's say if you have a test, and another test, and you want to find out what is your average or what is your mean. Now, the reason that we look for these averages is when you get your interim report, like the other day, or when you get your report card at the end of the year, on that report, you're going to have an average that says your math grade might be an average of 70%, which is a C. And your reading grade might be an average of 83%, which is a B. Now, how we got those averages is by taking every single grade that you got this year, we add them all up, and then we divide by the number of grades. Okay? Now, there's a little bit more to it than that because in our grade book, tests are worth a lot more than a piece of homework, right? Because homework, you did it at home, it's usually practice, and sometimes mom can help you, as I've been reading your journal entries, and I can tell mom's been typing those up for you. But no, the test that you do in the classroom, we call those summative tasks, which means it tells us how much you remember. And that's why they're worth a little bit more. If it's classwork, it's just something that you're doing, and that's important too. The more that you do, the more you'll remember. So tests require a little bit more thinking, so they're worth a little bit more. So let's say over here on test 1, you got a D, a 60%. And let's say on test 2, you got a D. You got a 60%. And then on test 3, you did not study at all. Okay, so let's say you didn't study and you got a 40% because you had a basketball game, a hockey game, you fell asleep, you were in the car because you had to drive to your auntie's house. All of these reasons why you couldn't study for a test, when I know that never have I ever said to you on a Thursday, oh, guess what? You got a test tomorrow. Surprise. No, I give you lots of warning for tests. Also, if it's a test, that means that you've been doing that work for a couple of weeks and you should be practicing every single night. So there's no, oh, I was too busy last night. You should be studying every night. But let's put that aside and let's start with step 1 of finding that average, and we're going to add. We're going to add all of these up, add you up. We're adding up our grades, our percentages. So we've got 0, 0, 0 equals 0. And 6 plus 6 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 160%. But we're not done yet because we still have to do step 2, which is to divide. And what we divide is we take this number and we're going to divide it by 1, 2, 3. Because you see how there are 3 grades? We're going to divide it by 3 grades. So let me do it over here where I have some room. 160 divided by 3. Oh, that's going to be a 5, isn't it? That'll be 15. And I've got a 1, bring down my 0, 10. That makes this a 3, because 3 times 3 is 9. And I have a remainder. Do I put a remainder 1 or do I put 1/3? No, remember we're adding those decimals now. And now I've got 10 again. That would make another 3. 3 times 3 is 9. When I subtract, I've got another 1, and it would bring another 10. And it would be another 3, and it's a 9. And I got 1 left over, and it's going to go like this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. And that number right there, that little line on top, means it's going to go forever and ever and ever, and it'll never stop. It will never, ever stop. It's not going to stop. So that's why we talk about stopping at that hundredths place, okay? So we could say that 160 divided by 3 equals 53 and 33 hundredths, okay? But when we're talking about average, or when we're talking about, sorry, not average, but we're talking about grades and percentages, our grades usually don't have decimals in there. So that's when we're going to round to the nearest whole number. And let's look at that rule. Oh, the queen says it's 4 or less, so this place value will rest. So your final grade is a 53%. Now look at that. Let's think about what just happened here. We got a D on the first test. Okay, that's not great, but you passed. You got a D on the second test. Again, not great, but you passed. This one F brought your final grade down to an F. So you had a D, you had a D, you had an F. And you might think, oh, well, I have 2 Ds and only 1 F, so maybe I should have a D. This brought them down to an F. And it's because this little guy, this 40%, if this 40% was a 50%, we would have a different number. And it really depends on what your scores are. Now, this is an example of when you already know what the percentage is in. So let's think about, let's say you have homework grades. And let's do 4 homework grades. And this first homework grade, you have 6 correct out of 10. And this homework grade, you have 7 correct out of 10. This is a homework where you have 3 out of 5 correct. And this one, you got 1/3 correct because you really weren't paying attention and you just rushed right through it. So what are we going to do here? Well, we need to find out what the average is of all of these. And there's a couple ways to do it. We could turn all of these into fractions, into equivalent fractions, and then we can add them up. That's one way to do it. We can turn them all into decimals and add them up. We can turn them all into percentages and add them up. We can definitely do those things. So I have tenths, tenths, fifths. I can easily turn those into common denominators. That could be a 5. But then this is going to be a 3. That's going to be hard. It's going to have to be, it's going to have to be 30, isn't it? That's kind of a lot to do to change all of those. So a really kind of easier way maybe would be to find fractions or turn those fractions into decimals or turn those decimals then into percents. This one's going to be really easy. 6/10 is the same as 60/100, right? So it's 60%. 7/10 is the same as 70/100, so it's 70%. Now what about that 3/5? We need to get 100ths out of that, don't we? So how do we turn 3/5 into hundredths? Well, 5 times 20 equals 100. So 3 times 20 is going to equal 60. So this is going to be a 60%. You know what? Look at this. Look how much sense that makes. Do you see that? The two 60%? Look, 3/5 is the same as 6/10, isn't it? Look over here. 3/5 is equivalent to 6/10, isn't it? How can we know for sure? 5 times 2 is 10. 3 times 2 is 6. Wow, they are equivalent. That's why they're both 60%. Now look at this 1/3. I'm not going to be able to do that, am I? Can I turn my 3 into 100? Nope. So for this piece, we're going to do our division. 1 divided by 3. 1 pizza divided by 3 people. Now let's do that math. I can't do that, but I can do this, can't I? Now I have a 10. And I know that 3 times 3 is 9. And when I subtract, I've got 1 left over. 0, bring it down. Oh, there's a 3 again. 9. Guys, do you see the same problem that we had in the last problem? 9 again. And a 3, and a 3, and it's going to keep going forever and ever and ever. So what would you say? Would you say you have 3%? No, you wouldn't say that. What you're going to do is you're going to round it to the nearest hundredth. So let's look here. Oh, he says stay the same. So it's going to be 33 hundredths, which is 33%. Okay? So this becomes 33%. In order to get this one and this one, that was pretty easy. We were able to do an easy strategy. But for 1/3, we had to do a little bit more because sometimes it'll be easier than others. Let me get all of this. Now you, of course, would not erase your paper. You would just maybe move to the back of the paper, but I don't have that luxury like you do. Well, I have to clear my space. Hopefully I won't need this. Get rid of you. Okay. So let's go ahead and find that mean. Mean means average. We're going to find that average. Pardon me. Step 1, we're going to add. We add all of these numbers up. 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 0, plus 3 is 3. 6 plus 7 is 13. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. We have 223%, but we're not done yet. What is step 2? Do you remember? Divide. Yes, we're going to divide by 1, 2, 3, and 4 because there are 4 numbers that we added up. So we're going to divide by 4. Go ahead and pause the video and let's see what you get. All right, let's see what you got. I've got 223 divided by 4. Well, we know that's going to be a 0, right? But 22, oh yes, I can do 5 times 4 and get 20. And when I subtract, I have a 2, bring down my 3. And I'm going to put 5 again, and I have 20. I have a 3, but now I can't just stick a 0 in there. I have to put my decimal there, right? Bring that down. Oh, I already brought that one down. Sorry. 30. Well, it's going to have to be 7, won't it? 7 times 4 is 28. And now I've got a 2. One more will do it, and then I'm done. 75. So I've got 55.75. And we're not going to say I have, oh, that's a 7. We're not going to say I have 55.75%. We're going to round it. We're going to round it. And look, that king says to move that place value up. It's going to move up to a 56%. So what does that tell you? Here's what that tells me. Look at this. Yeah, I got a D, but I got a really great grade there. I got a 70. I got another D. I can do better. But then this 33, that guy right there brought down my grade. And it was very low because I only had 3 problems in there. Whenever you have an activity that only has 3 problems, you need to really pay attention and do your absolute best, okay? All right, so say that we're trying to find the average, but we're not talking about grades. Let's talk about, oh wait, that's a terrible drawing. Hold on, I'm gonna get this better. There we go, that's better. All right. And number 2. Okay, so we're talking about pencils. Let's talk about the average length of a pencil in Miss Allison's class. Okay, so let's say I have 3 pencils here, or let's say I have 50 pencils here. It really doesn't matter. And this pencil is 2 inches because I have students who really love to sharpen out those pencils, and they like to waste precious resources because they think it's fun or it's cute, not realizing that this is made out of wood and they had to cut down a tree, and now a poor squirrel is homeless just because they wanted to have this tiny pencil. And how do we know that this pencil wasn't actually used? Because it has a beautiful eraser, so you could tell it wasn't really worked. And I've seen students who've used the same pencil for an entire year, and that pencil is beat up and they have to use an extra eraser and all that. That's not like this one. This one is a perfectly beautiful brand new pencil, and they just sharpen, 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 sharpen. That makes me do this. And then we've got this one here. Pardon me. And let's say this one is let's say this one is 3½ inches. And this pencil here is 2¾ inches. Let's say that. So now we need to find the mean. Miss Allison wants to know what's the average length of those pencils. So mean means average. We want to know what the average length of pencil is. So step 1 is to add and step 2 is to divide. So let's go ahead and add. We need to add 2 plus 3½ plus 2¾ Can we add those together? We can't do it, can we? Because we can only add numbers who have like denominators. So we have to turn these into like denominators. Let's take a look at what we have. We have 1/2 and we have 3/4. Do you see what like denominator would work? It's going to be a 4, right? This stays the same, doesn't change. But this one, we multiply by 2 to get 4, we multiply by 2. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. Yes, it absolutely is. So when we add them up, now I've got 2, 5, 7, and 3, 4, 5/4. 7 5/4. Okay, here's my new number, 7 5/4. Now you guys know that 7 5/4 is really 8 1/4, don't you? And you know that because right here, you can see hidden inside 5/4 is a 4/4, which equals 1. And when you take that 1 away, you have 1/4 left over. And what do we do with this 1? We bring it over here. So that's why we have 8 1/4. So we're done with adding, and now we need to divide. We need to divide by 1, 2, 3. 8 1/4 divided by 3. Oh my goodness, my loves, we have so many choices that we could do. Let me clean this up. In order to do this math. Can you think of one strategy that we could use? We can divide, right? We've been doing that quite a lot. So if I have 8 1/4 divided by 3, I'd have to say to myself, well, I cannot multiply a mixed number, can I? I have to turn it into an improper fraction. So it's going to be this, 4 times 8, 32 plus 1 is 33. 33/4 divided by 3. Now I can do that. So 33/4 divided by 3, well, let's turn this 3 into a fraction. And remember, when we are dividing fractions, we don't want to do that. We want to multiply because it's easier. So you're going to flip the following fraction. And it becomes 33/4 times 1/3. 33/12. Oh my goodness gracious, look at all this math that we're doing. We've got 33/12 inches. And now all we have to do is turn this back into a mixed number so we can find the average. So let's do that. 12 goes into 33. I'm going to say 2, right? Because that's 24. And let me regroup. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. And so 2 9/12. I can leave it as a fraction because they've got fractions here. And when we're talking about inches, we're allowed to have fractions. But if you wanted to keep going and you wanted to turn it into a decimal, that's okay too. So I've got, why does that look like a 2? That's not a 2. Daisy almost caught me making another mistake there. It's 9/12. Is 9/12 in the smallest, lowest terms? I can divide by 3. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is 4. So the average of all of these is, let me find a spot, 2 and 3/4 inches. So the average is 2 and 3/4. So the average is actually one of these. That's kind of interesting that that worked out that way. 2 and 3/4 is going to be the average length. Now that doesn't say that every single one is the average. That just says that, you know, pretty much most of the pencils are about that length. That's what it means when we say average. Pretty much most of them are about that length. Some of the pencils could be this big, and then some could be this big. But they're talking about kind of what's the mid range, the average. It's like kind of everything together and then, you know, mushed around there. All right, I know you guys are a little confused, so let's do some more practice. Okay, so here we are at IXL. We're going to do some practice on finding that mean. We're going to go down. No, we're going to go up. Up. I don't think it's up. I think it's down. Nope, it's up. Okay, right here, probability and statistics. Do you see here where it says find the mean? Mean means average. So go ahead and go to IXL and do some practice. Find the mean. Okay, what is the mean? So first things first, we have to add all of these up. Add them up, add them up. We need to add, those are terrible plus signs, aren't they? Oh my goodness, Allison. We need to add them all up. Let me clear this. Step 1 is to add them, and step 2 is to divide. So let's add these numbers up. Get your paper and a pencil. Write these numbers down in a column and add them up. Go ahead and pause the video. Okay, this is what your numbers should look like. Let's see. 0 plus 2, 2. 3, 4, 5. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15, 16, 17, 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. 26. 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34. 35, 36, 37. And I'm going to regroup with a 3. Did you see what I did over here? I made dominoes, or, whoop, that one got mixed up. Dominoes, or you can think of them as dice, like game dice. You see how I've got my dominoes here? That's how I can count mine to make sure that I don't miss any. I put a little dot on my paper so I can make sure that I counted everybody. So now I have 3 plus 6 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47. Woo! 477. Wowzers. 477, that's step 1 done. Step 2, I need to divide. 477 divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Divide by 9. 9 times what will get me close to 47 without going over? Well, I know that 9 times 5 is 45. That's pretty close. When I subtract, I have 27. Oh, It's a 3. 3 times 9 is 27. Well, that was easy. So what is my mean? 53. 53 is the average. It's the mean. Well done. Okay. I want you to try this one now. Get your paper and pencil, pause the video, and let's see what you get. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do something here, and I'm going to join these 3 together because that makes my life so much easier. And then I've got 98, 99, and 97. Do you have to do that? No, of course not. You can do 100, 100, 100. And here, 9 plus 8 is going to be 17, right? 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Regroup. 9, look at this, I have 3 9s, and I know that 9 times 3 is 27. 28, 29. Regroup. And 594. Is that what you got? I hope so. Now that I have my 594, my step 2 is to divide. First I add, then I divide. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times what gets me close to 59? Oh man, a 10 would have been perfect if that was 60, right? So we know it's going to be 9. 9 times 6 is 54. And that's a 5. Oh, look how perfect. It's going to be 99. 9 times 6 is 54 again, and I'm at a 0. So my answer is 99. Did you get 99? That's the average. Let's do one more here. What is the mean? So I have a 68. Write this on your paper. 72, 67, 70, 69, 74. Add them up. Pause the video. Let's see if yours matches mine. Okay. 8 plus 2 is 10. Plus 7 is 17. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35. 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42. Did you get 420? And now we're going to divide by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 goes into 420. Ooh, I can see the answer already. 7 times 6 is 42. And now, that's a 0. I bring down my 0. This can't be an empty space, so it has to be 70. How can I check my thinking? Let's say that I thought the answer was 70 or was 7 because I'm at 0. How can I check my division? By multiplying. We multiply these together and it should equal this one. Does 6 times 7 equal 420? No. That's how we know there's supposed to be a 0 there. Is there 70 times 6? Let's see. 6 times 0 is 0. 6 times 7 is 42. Yes. That's how I know my answer is 70. That's the mean. That's the average. All right, let's go to another activity to practice. Goodness, I'm losing my voice today. Excuse me. All right, the next one, probability and statistics, as soon as our little stars pop up. We were practicing with the mean. Here's the next one. Interpret charts and graphs to find the mean. Are we loading? Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. We're going to interpret charts and graphs. So we're still using those two steps. Add them together and then divide to find the mean. But here they're putting it in a context of a table. So it's important for you to know the basic skill, but then also be able to use the skill in different kinds of problems. So here it says the school district compared how many math teachers each high school has. So Moore High School has 5 math teachers, and River High has 6, Washington 3. Wow, Northside High, that's a lot of teachers. That's a lot of teachers. That means they must have a lot of students. And if there's only a few teachers like here, this is probably a small school, not too many high school students. We need to find the mean of the numbers. So our first step is to add everything together. Okay, so here, if I add these 3 numbers, I have 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to start there. Just save myself some writing. And I know that 7 plus 6 is 13. I'm going to add that like that. Do I have to do it that way? Nope, not at all. And I've got 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 56. So is my answer 56? No, they want to know the average, the mean. About how many teachers does each school have? Well, altogether we have 56 teachers. How many high schools are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There are 7 schools. So let's find that mean. What number times 7 gets me close to 56? Let's see. Look at your hashtag helper. 7, 14, 21, 28, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This one's 35. 6 is 42. Oh, we're getting closer. 42 plus 7 is 49. And then 49 plus 7 is, it's 56, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 times 7 is 56. So what is the average amount of teachers? The mean is 8. What does that mean? Does this class have, or does this school have 8? No. Does this one have 8? No. No 8, not 8, not 8, not 8, not 8. None of them have 8 teachers. So how come our answer is 8? Well, our answer is 8 because the mean is the average. And it says about how many in each place. So about how many teachers, it's going to be a little bit more than 5, but it's about 8 here. A little bit more than 6, it's about 8. A little bit, quite a bit more than 3, about 8. About 8, so that's going to be a lot less. About 8, and then this one about 8. So what that means is if we were to evenly distribute all of these teachers, remember we have 56 teachers. If we wanted to evenly distribute those teachers, every high school would have exactly 8 teachers. But we know that, some high schools are different. They have more students, so they need more teachers. But you will be able to say it's about 8 teachers per school. Let me clear all of this out, and let's put our answer, about 8. Good work. Oh, look at this one. Karen kept track of how many boxes of cookies she sold over the past 6 days. Let's take a look at this table. We have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So here are all the days on the x-axis. Here on the y-axis, she has the number of boxes. 0 boxes, 10 boxes, 20 boxes, 30, 40, 50 boxes, 60, 70, 80 boxes, 90 boxes, 100 boxes. So they need to know what is the mean of those numbers. Well, let's take a look at Friday. On Friday, they sold 40 boxes. On Saturday, how many boxes are there? Whoop, 60. How about on Sunday? How many boxes did they sell? 40. And on Monday, 60. And how about Tuesday? Oh, 40 again. And then finally Wednesday. Oh, nobody wanted cookies on Wednesday. So we're at 0. Step 1, to find that mean, is add them all up. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And now let's add our tens place. 4 plus 6 is 10. Ooh, 4 plus 6 is 10 again. That's 20. Plus 4 is 24. 240. So here's a question I can ask. How many boxes of cookies were sold in all? 240 in all. But we want to know about how many were sold each day. We know, of course, some days like this day, 0. But then some days over here, there were a lot sold. But we want to know about how many were sold each day. So we're going to divide. There are exactly 240. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. She sold for 6 days. And it says it again here in case you were wondering, maybe it should be 7. It says 6 days. And I know that 6 times 4 is 24. 0. Cool, my answer is 4. Boom, boom, boom. Oh, wait, no, it's not. Because if I want to check my thinking, I would multiply my answer, which is my quotient, times my divisor, and I should get my dividend. And I do not get my dividend, do I? My dividend is 240, which means my answer is not 4, it's 40. The answer is 40. So how many boxes? 40 boxes. Oh, my goodness, I love these. Here's another different one. Wow. So we had a line plot. We had a frequency table. What's this one called? We're counting tallies. This is a tally table or a tally chart. All right, the school district compared how many math teachers each high school has. So this is kind of like the one we did before, but instead of giving us the numbers, the frequency, they're giving us the tallies. 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 4 there. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17 right there. 5, 6, 7, 8 right there. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And 5, 6, 7. So I can add all of those up. Or I could say to myself, okay, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Look how easy that is. It's 45. Well, that was easy. I like the tallies. And I know that I counted each one because I put a mark on it. So 45 all together. But what is the mean? We have to divide. 45 divided by how many? 5. Which is 9. So there are about 9 math teachers in each school. Not exactly, because only Hillview High has exactly 9, and all the others have a little bit more or a little bit less. But that's what the mean means. It means the average. It means about how many. If those 45 teachers were shared and every school got the exact same amount, that means every school would have 9. Terrific. Yay! We got another type of chart. What kind of chart is this? It's a bar chart, and the bars are going up and down. Those bars are going up and down vertically. It's a vertical bar chart. Heather wrote down how many spelling words she practiced each day. All right, well, let's see. Here are her days. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We're missing a day. What day did she not practice? Yes, she didn't practice on Thursday. Maybe she has soccer practice on Thursday. And then over here, it says the number of spelling words. We've got 0 up to 100. Look at this. On Monday, she studied 100 spelling words. She's probably getting ready for a spelling bee. On Sunday, she didn't study too much. And you know what? That's totally okay. And it's okay that she didn't study at all on Thursday, because she did a lot of studying on Monday, and she did quite a bit of studying on Wednesday too, didn't she? And even here, that's 50 spelling words. That's a lot that she's studying. So yeah, it's okay that she skipped a day or two. So let's take a look at this bar chart, and let's see what we have. We've got a 50 here. We have 40. We have 30. What's this one? Yeah, was that 100? How about this blue one? It's a 50, right? It goes on that 50 line. Woo-doo. And this one is 90. Perfect. So I can see that I have a 100. I'm going to put that here. And look, I have two. What happened? Hello. There we go. Here we go. I'm like, hello. Where are you going? And then I have, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's a 70. And then here's my 90. Oh, that makes things a little easier. 9 plus 7 is 16. That's 360. And now we're going to divide it by how many? 6. Oh, well, that's an easy number. Is my answer 6? No, it is 60. 60. So she studied about 60 words every day. Did she study 60 words on Thursday? Nope. She didn't study at all on Thursday. That was her day off. That was her soccer practice day. But because she did so many on this day, she did more than 60. And on this day, she did more than 60. It made up for Thursday having a 0. It balanced everything out, okay? And that's what the meme is doing. It's saying Heather studied 360 words. If she studied the same exact each day, she would have to have 60. But sometimes we just don't have time to do it. So that's when that average comes in. Same thing with your iReady, guys. If you have your iReady finished on Monday and Tuesday, and you get all of your 50 minutes in, then you can have your day off on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, because we're talking about 50 all together, right? So let's say if you did 10 minutes each day of the school day, which is Monday through Friday, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, those are your 50 minutes, right? All together, it's 50 minutes. And if I were to divide 50 minutes by 5, I'd get 10, because it says exactly 10 minutes every day. But we don't care if you do it on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday or Friday. You know, you maybe you were cooking dinner with mom and dad, helping them out. Maybe you were mowing the grass or cleaning out the garage or cleaning under your bed because it's a mess and there's probably old banana peels under there. I hope not. So as long as you have 50, that's what matters to us. Well, I would prefer 60 or 75. So if you did 30 minutes on Monday and 20 minutes on Tuesday, that means you have your full 50 minutes, which is equal to an average of 10 minutes per day, which means that you have 100% attendance, right? If you want 100% attendance, you need to get 10 minutes per day. And I've told you that you don't have to come and sign on for 10 minutes. And in fact, if you go to IXL and you sign on to a fifth grade math lesson, 10 minutes is not going to get you very far. My suggestion is you stick with it until that lesson is over and then go take your break. But 10 minutes, I would do 10 minutes of work, walk away, and then I'd forget what I just learned, right? So that's why we're looking for the average. Okay, my loves. Whew, this one was tough because all the others we were reviewing, this is something new. Tomorrow, we're going to do something new again. We're going to go shopping and we're going to find out percentages and maybe find some discounts and things like that. So that's going to be fun. We're still doing that same skill. We're still multiplying. We're still dividing. We're doing all these wonderful things with percents and with decimals and fractions because it all goes together. All right, my loves, I will see you tomorrow. Okay, bye.